Welcome everyone to our third episode of Crafting at Home for Teens. I'm Miss Amanda from the York County Library and I will be guiding you through this craft. This series is mainly going to be focused around easy to make crafts that can be made with basic household items. So for example, markers, paper, glue, scissors, etc. For our third episode, we're going to be making an umbrella paper craft with dangling raindrops. It's a pretty easy to make craft that requires a little bit of setup, but overall is very simple to make. So for this craft, you're going to need a ruler, a pencil, a pair of scissors, a little bit of string, some pipe cleaner, glue stick, a small piece of blue paper, and then 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper. This is usually just printer paper size, and it can be colored paper or it can be plain paper if you want. You can always color it in with marker if you don't exactly have colored paper. So for the first step, we're going to be setting up our paper. You're going to want to make circles that are going to have a diameter of 3 inches. So if you're really good at drawing it freehand, you can definitely do it freehand. I like to use a template. So this is a little template that I made measuring that 3-inch diameter. And all it is just a used cereal box. So just a little piece of cardboard to make a easy to make template. So I've already cut out several of these circles. So I'm just going to show you one to show an example of what kind of you're going to be doing. So I'm just going to lay down my template and I'm just going to draw around it with a pencil. And so I get this nice circle. And then I'm going to cut it out. And for this craft, you're going to need at least 10 of these circles. And this can be all the same color. It can be multicolored. You could do interchanging patterns. I'm going to be doing that with a pattern of pink and hot pink, but it can be whatever color you want. So once you've cut out 10 of these circles, what you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to fold them in half. So I'm just going to fold it right in half here and making it kind of into this half circle kind of shape. And then what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to fold it again. And you should end up with what looks like kind of like a little pizza slice. So like a pizza slice or like a quarter of a circle. And so you're going to want to repeat this step with all 10 of your pieces until you have them all folded. So take my next piece, fold it in half, and then pizza slice it. Half, pizza slice, and pizza slice. And I had a couple other ones that I've already had pre-done, so I'm going to add those to that. So I've got all of those together. So from here, what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to unfold your circle. So just back to this half circle shape. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take our glue stick and we're going to apply a glue right to this middle crease. So just right there, not on these edges or the outer parts, just the middle. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to squish it together and hold it for a couple seconds just to make sure it sticks really good. I'm going to set that one to the side. I'm just going to keep repeating that. So just applying a little bit of glue to the middle. And then holding and squeezing it down. And this is a really good part if, when you're at this step, if you made a circle and like the edges are not perfectly even, like I've got a little bit that sticks out here. It's a little bit of unevenness. What you can do is you can just take your scissors and just kind of round it out some, and then you should end up with a nice smooth edge. there. A little bit of glue. Fold and hold. Those two were already done. And just this last one. All right. A little bit there. So from here, what we're going to want to do is, for step 4, we're going to be taking these folded pieces and we're going to be gluing them together. So I've already got a pre-started part. This is going to be my other pieces. And I'm just going to keep adding to this. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue right along this corner edge. So not the rest of the circle, just that corner edge. And then I'm going to take it, and I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to press it on nice and hard. And I'm just going to kind of keep repeating that. So a little bit of glue, take another piece, press it down firmly. And you're going to want to keep repeating this until you have all of your circles completely glued together. Flip it over. A little bit of glue. And there. All right. So you should have kind of like this little thick stack of pizza slices all glued together. And from here, what we're going to do is, for step 5, we're going to be finishing off the top of our umbrella by putting a little bit of string in the middle. So you'll just want to kind of take your string, and I'm going to put it in the middle part here. And so you might have a little bit of glue that overflowed that works. If not, just kind of add in a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit more to make sure that it gets glued down firmly. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of take my string, and this can be any size. I actually think I'm going to cut it down just a little bit, and this is just going to make it so that way you have the capability, if you want to hang it from somewhere, like a window or in a car or something like that, or even off like a cork board. So just kind of pressing it in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of open up the umbrella around it, because what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take this first piece here and this last piece, and we're going to apply a little bit of glue. And essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of, if I can get everything here, just kind of glue those two pieces together. And this is going to complete out our umbrella. So just kind of draw it back around, kind of stretch the other pieces as I go, and then I'm going to kind of just hold and try and press it together the best I can. This part's a little bit tricky, it's kind of hard to get your fingers to kind of press and squishy. All right. And then from here, what you can do is you kind of can just stretch it out a little. I like to take this middle part here that's kind of loose and just kind of pull it out just a little bit to kind of loosen it up and kind of get these pieces separated some so that it sits a little nicer. Just kind of stretching it out with my fingers and adjusting. So when it's all said and done, you should end up with something that looks very much like kind of this umbrella shape. And so from here, we're going to take our pipe cleaner that I had mentioned earlier, And you're going to want to cut it in half. I already have one that's pre-cut in half, just because we're not going to be using the whole thing. And all we're going to do is, in this circle little middle part here, we're just going to kind of tuck and poke it in. So kind of feed it in just a little bit. Kind of being careful not to poke our string out. If you think it's poking your string out, you can definitely push that back in a little bit. It's just so that way it's going to be sticking out here. Once you've got it in securely, all we're going to do is we're going to kind of curl it up. So I'm just wrapping it around my finger. And then I'm going to trim away the excess. So this is any part that I don't really want. Set that to the side. So you should be left with this nice little umbrella handle kind of shape. And this can of course be any color pipe cleaner. If you don't have a pipe cleaner, even like a small straw, or like if you wrapped a piece of paper and made it into like a little tube, that would work as well. So for step 7, we're going to be working on our raindrops now. This is going to be that little piece of blue paper that I mentioned before. And if you don't have blue paper, if you have white paper and a marker, you can definitely use that as well. Slide some things out of the way so I have room. So what I'm going to do here is I am just going to draw out 5 raindrops with my pencil. For this example, I'm doing 5. If you want to do more than 5, you are more than welcome to. Just keep in mind that you're going to want to cut out as many pieces of string as items that you draw. And it doesn't always have to be raindrops. If you really wanted to change it up, you could even do like teeny clouds, you could do little hearts, snowflakes, butterflies, bees, even flowers if you wanted. But for this, I'm doing little raindrops because it makes me think of rainy days. So I'm just drawing out kind of a raindrop shape. And they can be as big or little as you want. I'm doing kind of like a medium-ish. They're not super small, but they're not super large, because I think that will fit well with my umbrella shape. Going through and I'm trimming and cutting out all of these. Almost there. And if you end up cutting them out bigger or smaller and you have a little bit of pencil line still showing, you can definitely erase that afterwards if you want a really nice clean look. So I've got kind of a little bit of pencil still, but that's all right. I'm not too worried. So I'm gonna set my scrap to the side. And so from here, what you're gonna wanna do is you're going to wanna cut out 5 pieces of string, since I used 5 raindrops, and you're gonna want them to be about 2 to 3 inches. So for this, I think I have them cut out at 3 inches, but I want them to be 2, so I'm just gonna trim away a little bit. They don't necessarily have to be 2 or 3 inches. They can be longer, they can be shorter. I just find that 2 to 3 inches is a pretty good medium size for how far they dangle down from your umbrella. Set that to the side, and that one is already done. All right, so from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my string and my raindrops, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue on the back side. So my fingers are going to get a little covered in glue, but that's all right. I'm just going to kind of take this press down. So I'm going to keep repeating this with all 5 of my raindrops. And there. Not quite one stick. There we go. Okay. So now I have all of my little raindrop pieces. And so the last step is just gluing those onto the umbrella. So I'm just going to kind of glue them on these inner parts here that kind of stick out. So just along there, and it doesn't have to be a certain pattern, it doesn't have to be a certain way, it can just be random. Just anywhere that you find that you can kind of glue them down. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the part there. And I'm going to take my string and I'm just going to kind of tuck it. And I'll go a couple more. I think I'm going to do them all on the hot pink ones. Just kind of pressing. I definitely recommend letting it sit for a couple minutes before putting it up for display, just to let everything that's kind of glued down settle in and really stick to your umbrella. And last one. Gently take my loop here and lift up. And I'm kind of untangle. A couple of them are kind of trying to stick to each other, but that's all right. Okay, there we go. So I'll try and tilt it some, but so I have little raindrops dangling down. So you can kind of see them dangling as they move. And so that is pretty much it. With that done, our umbrella paper craft is complete. So overall, it's very easy to make and shouldn't take more than 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how long it takes you to fold and glue everything together. And of course, if you add more designs, so if you did it in plain paper and you wanted to color your umbrella specific colors, or if you wanted to do more raindrops, or if you wanted to do, like I said, clouds or snowflakes or hearts, to make it a different themed umbrella, you can definitely do that. But for this one, I did it kind of like a rainy day theme since we're in April and we've got lots of rain showers. So I'm gonna set that down right there. So I hope that you enjoyed this craft and will try it out yourself. Of course, thank you as always for joining us, and we hope to see you next month for our next episode of Crafting at Home for Teens. In the meantime, be sure to check out the other cool videos on the York County Library YouTube page, as well as see what other programs are going on our website, yclibrary.org. Hope to see you soon, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.